Day PKN, the weekly video bulletin of the top news stories on PKN Packaging News, Australia's media hub for the packaging industry. I'm the publisher Lindy Hewson, and this week's bulletin is brought to you by Curry Group. There's much to report on in the world of Australian packaging. We'll start at the big end of town with half-year results reporting on the go at the moment. Orora has delivered a solid first half result, achieving increased underlying earnings before interest and tax in all of its businesses on sales that rose 3% in constant currency terms, with Australasia the best performer, where its focus is on beverage packaging. Underlying net profit after tax before significant items was 91 million, up 18.9% on the prior corresponding period. CEO Brian Lowe said Orora is now looking at expanding its beverage business into North America, although he said it has no immediate plans to make a move, but was actively considering it given the success of beverages in Australasia and Orora's existing presence in the territory. On to some Pact results. Profits at Pact Group rose strongly in the first half on sales that were up a smidgen, with the company attributing the rise to solid organic growth and higher margins. Net profit after tax was up by 44% to 50 million from 35 million in the prior period, while underlying net profit after tax was up by even more, hitting 52 million compared to 33 million in the same period last year, a rise of 59%. CEO Sanjay Dayal said the group has delivered these results against a backdrop of continued operational challenges and market disruption arising from COVID-19. Pact said also that the execution of its Leading the Circular Economy strategy was on track in the first half, with its recycling capability enhanced by the acquisition of Flight Plastics in New Zealand, which it announced late last week. Now, Flight Plastics is a provider of packaging for the fresh food segment and the country's only packaging manufacturer with integrated PET recycling capabilities. Flight uses extrusion and thermoforming technology to produce trays and containers for packaged grocery products from both recycled PET and virgin resins. With Flight having the capability to process more than 5,000 tonnes of recycled PET per year, the acquisition will enable Pact to provide customers in Australia and New Zealand with packaging containing food-grade recycled content, which in turn supports local circular economy ambitions. Now, in other sustainability news, Coles will be giving millions of pieces of soft plastics a new lease on life, thanks to new recycling technology researched and developed in partnership with RMIT University and recycling organizations Replas and Red Group. The new PolyRock technology is made from plastic bags and soft plastic packaging recovered from the Red Cycle depots that are available in all of Coles supermarkets, and it acts as a sustainable alternative to aggregate minerals used in concrete, in the mixing of concrete. So starting this week, the PolyRock product will be rolled out in its largest commercial application to date as part of a Coles supermarket development at Cobblebank in Melbourne's west. The technology has the potential to build a more circular economy and support future infrastructure projects, as only 10% of the 3.5 million tonnes of soft plastic thrown out by Australians each year is recycled. These are some stats according to Clean Up Australia. We spoke to Mark Jacobson at Replas, who said PolyRock is scalable and a fit-for-purpose end-use solution for recycled soft plastics. So that's good news. And the Australian federal government has announced a review of the Australian Packaging Covenant and National Environment Protection Measure, the NEPM. The review is looking to evaluate how the NEPM and the Covenant are achieving their environmental protection goals and will cover administration, policy and legislative issues around the application, effectiveness and efficiency of the arrangement. Now, the review has been welcomed by Australian Packaging Covenant Organisation, APCO, and the CEO, Brooke Donnelly, says a periodic review is always a critical element of good governance practice, and this review provides the perfect opportunity for all stakeholders to reflect on the important factors for our sector and to have our voices heard on our way forward for improving Australia's packaging sustainability and meeting the 2025 national packaging targets. Rose Reid, the National Waste and Recycling Industry Council CEO, has also welcomed the review as she believes that for the most part, the program has failed, considering many of the packaging issues the country faced back when it was implemented 20 years ago still exist today. Now, according to Reed, these packaging issues include poorly designed packaging that prevents high recycling rates, a limited reuse of materials back into packaging, the cost to manage packaging at end of life, which also includes cleanup of litter that is still being left to local councils. She says that the council considers the only way to solve the packaging issues that face Australia is to mandate recycled content to penalise companies who do not meet sustainable packaging guidelines or labelling, and to implement a mandatory product stewardship scheme that sees end-of-life packaging costs shifted from local councils to the companies who put the products on the market in the first place. A consultation paper is available to read along with an online survey form through a link in this article on our website. Feedback is due by the 5th of March. It certainly gives us all food for thought. Finally, in some sad news, the industry has lost one of its finest contributors in Peter Marks, Foodmach director, who has died at age 66 from cancer. Peter Marks was recognized in PKN's 60 of the Best list in 2020 for his ingenuity, depth of experience and engineering expertise that led to innovative developments and patents for Foodmach and set new standards for the Australian machinery manufacturing sector. The PKN team extends its condolences to all who feel the loss of this valuable and valued member of our industry and our community. That's it from me for this week. Lindy Hewson signing off.